Hi guys, today we're talking about action height, what it is, how it affects how the guitar feels, what you can measure it with, everything action height. So first off, what is action height? What does it mean?
Well, the action height is the string height from the fret.
Okay.
The different sort of string heights that you can get, the different actions will affect the playability of the guitar.
Okay.
The playing style comes into it a little bit.
Okay.
So
there's not like a one size fits all necessarily?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And it can take some time to find that what suits you best. Okay. And maybe over the course of learning guitars and playing, it may change too. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Most usually, the action height is set fairly, about 3/32 seconds, 2/32 seconds on the treble side.
Okay. And that's at the 12th?
The 12th fret. Now, that's neither too high or too low. Okay. So you can go a 64th below that, even a 32nd in some cases. Okay. Or go higher, right?
Okay.
When you go lower, you run the risk of having some more overtones, some more fret buzz, particularly when you attack the guitar. That could be an indicator that the strings and the bridge height is ever so slightly too low.
Right. Okay.
If you're quite light on the attack and a bit more accomplished player tends to be a little bit lighter on the attack, then you can get away with a lower action.
Okay. I see.
A higher action will give you a little more volume, a little more resonance. Okay.
Yeah.
And say on an acoustic guitar, as we've looked at with a couple other videos with relief, etc., slightly higher action height will give a bit more volume projection.
So it's a very similar thing, I guess, to the sort of the effects of neck relief. I see. Which is why I guess it's important to be able to, as we said with the neck relief, even if you're not going to necessarily adjust it yourself, it's very important to be able to at least diagnose these things.
Absolutely.
Simply because a high string height can be caused by your bridge being too high, or essentially you're not being too high as caused by there being too much relief.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool.
And being able to assess where that is a good thing. Okay. Now, unlike neck relief, your bridge height commonly won't adjust on its own. It would have either been lowered at some point or someone's raised it.
Sure.
We are often we often check the action height as our first thing we do. It's about how high the strings are. And and when you're getting into the setting up of the guitars, you start to understand that balance between a couple of things that are going on.
Sure. Okay. So that's a really good point, actually. So if your guitar used to be really, really nice to play, and now it isn't, the chances are it's probably the neck.
Yes.
As opposed to the
or,
action.
Which does happen quite often, is that someone's looked at it and just been drawn straight to that sort of 12th fret action height, string height, and just lowered the bridge.
Sure.
Because it looks too high. Okay. In this case, on this particular guitar right now, it looks actually a little low. And for the playing style for this guitar that needs to be set up for more blues, a little bit high is not a bad thing. But we're still talking about probably a factory setting. It's not like it's suddenly high.
We're not adding inches to this.
No, not at all.
We're talking very fine margins.
Exactly. But yeah, your string height, your action height affects your overall playability of the guitar.
Okay. And as we've, as you said just then, in terms of having specific instruments, for me personally, if a guitar has got too low action, specifically when you do bends, I like to be able to sort of scoop the next string up, or at least have the option to do that. And if the string is super, super, super low, I find that when you do a bend, sort of multiple strings will go under your fingers, which is fine for some people. It's not like the way I like to do it.
Absolutely, and the opposite can happen when it's slightly too high, that you'll find a string, when you bend it, the G's going straight over your fingers.
Absolutely.
You're going underneath everything. So that can be quite a good indicator, even when you're not even measuring it. But how does it play? I think, going back to sort of the very start of understanding setup is how does it play? You have to try and get a feeling of how it's playing. And then sometimes, when you measure, it starts to tell you why that might be.
Absolutely.
So, that's a great indicator for you that that's where it's just slightly too low for you.
Sure, yeah, because I guess obviously not everybody's going to have these sort of high precision tools.
Sure.
It's great if you do. They're not too expensive, so it's definitely worth investing if it is something you're interested in. But even without that, just by knowing your instrument, knowing what you like, knowing what you're used to, you can definitely get a really good sort of indication. And a sort of diagnosis, isn't it, really?
Indeed.
But,
so, should we have a look at the action height on this? And we're also going to look at the action height on the Strat.
Okay, so we'll start with the Gibson. We've got it right here. So we'll see you next time where we'll actually look at adjusting the action.